Hey guys, my name is Lauren, if you're new to my channel. Otherwise, welcome back. Today I actually wanted to film another what I eat in a day video. So I did this once before to a lot of mixed reviews and mixed comments. And I think part of the reason for that is I know I don't have a great diet. I'm not home all the time. I can't cook every meal, fresh at home. I don't follow any particular type of diet. I don't have any dietary restrictions, and I kind of eat whatever. If somebody gives me food, I will eat it. If it's free, I will eat it. If it's at the office, I will eat it. And a lot of people took issue with all sorts of different things that I ate in my first What I Ate in a Day video. But, maybe I'm completely delusional about this, but I think I'm pretty normal. I think a lot of people probably don't eat as healthy as they want, and they probably don't eat like Instagram people who are home all day and can cook every meal at home. So we actually, it's Sunday today. We're going to go out into our garden and get some of the food that we're going to use to cook with during the week. So the What I Eat Today is actually going to be on Monday, but this is kind of the prep for it on Sunday. So we do cook most of our meals at home, and we maybe go out to eat. We maybe buy food out once or twice a week, if that. So I very rarely eat out of the house. Sometimes if he's on the road all day and he doesn't have a fridge, doesn't have a microwave, he'll have to get more food out than I will. So I did kind of wanted to do another What I Eat in a Day just because I think they're interesting. I think other people might find them interesting too. Even if I don't have an aspirational diet, even if I don't have a great diet, I think it's interesting to see what other kind of normal people eat who work full-time, they're trying to train, they're not full-time YouTubers, they can't cook every meal at home every day, they don't cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner in real time at home. So I wanted to take you through another What I Eat Today. So yeah, we're going to take you out into the yard, into the garden, and kind of show you some of what we'll be using to cook food for tomorrow, for Monday. This is actually some of our beet plants over here. We have some beets and green onions in this corner. And this one massive beet plant, oh god, there's actually another one over here. Yeah, this is another one. I think it's time to harvest this one. We take the leaves sometimes and put them into stir fries, and this is still kind of growing, but it's just getting kind of ridiculous. So we're gonna take some beets inside, probably roast the beets and cook the leaves in some kind of stir fry veggie dish. There's some green onions back here that are probably ready to come out too. These are pretty ridiculous too. We ended up taking some of our bigger green onions. So this is actually only 4 green onions, but it's a pretty hefty amount. We ended up harvesting pretty much all the beets. It's mostly leaves, but there's probably 4 or 5 good-sized beets in there. We'll probably take in and make something with too. So we're gonna get a little bit of kale. All right. So we're just gonna take some of the kale. Okay. So we'll probably just take in the kale, the beets, and the green onion. So we'll do a little bit of cooking today on Sunday, and then that's what you'll see me eat on Monday. Although it's probably too loud to hear me over the traffic, so we can just go inside. We have all the green onions and kale washed in here, the beets from the garden, all the greens from the kale, which is kind of a ton. We're probably going to be able to make a few different dishes with that, and all of the beet roots, all of the stems too. We've cut everything up. Well, Luis cut everything up. I think we're going to make 2 different dishes out of this. So we have some jalapenos and onions cut up here. We have some broccoli. We have some chicken. This is the kale from the garden. We have some corn and some cucumber. This is all of the beet leaves from the garden. Here are some of the beet leaves and some of the beet stems from the garden. More beet stems, more beet leaves. We'll probably save for a couple days. We have some odds and ends, some leftover cut up tomato and onion, some cream cheese for a vegetable dish, a couple other spices that are going to be going into kind of a Chinese style stir fry. These are the rest of the green onions cut up from the yard, and we do have bell pepper and spinach too. So my breakfast is pretty simple. It's the same as it was in my first What I Eat in a Day video. Right now I'm just heating up some water for coffee, and all I make for breakfast is 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter, cinnamon, and a little bit of honey. So I make 2 pieces for me and 2 pieces for Luis. So first thing when I get to work, probably just like a lot of other people, stick my lunch in the fridge, and then I usually just head back to my desk. I make sure I have my coffee and my water. So at least a few times a week, I also tend to sip on Noon. So this is kind of just a low-calorie electrolyte replacement. So if my mileage is, over 50 or 60, a couple times a week, I'll just sip on some Noon throughout the day while I'm at my desk. I also have my coffee, my water bottle, and my other water bottle. I also had this little piece of dark chocolate as I was finishing my coffee. I like to have a little something sweet in the morning, nothing too crazy. And then a little while later, I wanted another snack, so I grabbed an apple that I had brought with me to work that day. My meeting ended up running pretty late, so my lunch was going to be delayed, so I was getting pretty hungry. It was a little bit after noon, so I decided to have this bar as well. So it's kind of early afternoon now. I had to eat lunch a little bit late today because of some meetings, but I don't want to eat lunch too late since I'll be running after work. So even though I'm not super hungry, I'm gonna go ahead and have lunch now. So I'm having some of the leftovers that you saw us prepare last night. So at the beginning of this video, Sunday night, we did some meal prep, some cooking, and we usually make enough food for at least a couple days for the both of us. So I'm having some of the leftovers we made last night. So this is the dish that was kind of the Chinese-inspired, Asian-inspired chicken and vegetables. So I'm going to try to eat most of this. If I'm really full, I'm not going to finish it. And I'll be going for a run in probably about 3 or 4 hours or so. And then I probably won't eat anything else after lunch after this because I can't eat too close before a run. So I'll probably have this, then nothing else for the few hours before my run. And then I'll check back in with you guys for dinner and then maybe dessert. So I ended up eating most of my lunch, but not quite all of it. I was getting pretty full, so I didn't end up finishing all of it. I'll take it home to have either later or another day. But I'm still making sure to stay hydrated, drinking some of the Noon that I mixed up earlier, and making sure I'm drinking water. And that'll probably be it until I run for the afternoon. Hey guys, so it's kind of late afternoon now. It's almost 4 o'clock. I actually have to head to another meeting right now, and then after that I plan to go for my run. So I would say most days after work is when I normally run. So I haven't eaten anything since lunch. You saw I didn't really finish my lunch. I wasn't super hungry, and I don't like to be really full on the days that I'm going to run after work. So I still haven't had any other snacks. I've been sipping on a little bit of Noon that I showed you earlier. So this is just a low calorie, low sugar electrolyte replacement. So it's really just kind of like, to me, it's like flavored water. And if I'm running, more than 50, 60 miles a week, I like to have some electrolytes at least a couple times during the week. So I like to sip on that with my regular water kind of all day long. So it's a pretty average work day for me. I'm usually not that hungry for lunch, but I also tend to have a couple snacks in the morning. I tend to get hungry kind of late morning, and that's probably because I don't have that big of a breakfast, but that breakfast is something I like to eat. It's quick and convenient, it tastes good, so I don't mind having, a snack or two in the morning before lunch, and then usually not eating for a few hours in the afternoon before my run. So, like I said before, I don't have any dietary restrictions. I don't follow any particular type of diet. I would say I try to eat pretty healthy most of the time. I do have a sweet tooth, so I usually have something sweet every day. I try not to make it anything crazy. We do cook the vast majority of our foods at home. I wouldn't say I'm a huge meat eater. I don't eat a lot of red meat. I don't really like chicken that much. I'm trying to eat more like beans and legumes to get more plant-based protein because I just never really have a taste for meat that often. And I want to make sure I'm eating enough protein. I'm trying to eat a little bit more since I probably don't eat as much as I should. I've tried to get better at, listening to my body. Yeah, I know I eat some things that aren't healthy, but, I like them. Life is short. Everything in moderation is kind of the motto I go for. I did have, I did have a poor relationship with eating. When I was younger, I was underweight. I drastically restricted my calories. So I try to just not take it so seriously. I'm sure there's, everybody could improve something in their diet. And I'm not saying you should eat like me. I'm not saying I should be your diet role model. I just think it's interesting to see what other people eat, especially other athletes and other female athletes, because I don't see a lot of that online. And I think a lot of women, especially women athletes, sometimes do have, some degree of disordered eating in terms of, restrictions or special diets or anything like that. And, yeah, like I said, I don't have the best diet, but I think it's real. I work 2 part-time jobs, so essentially I work full-time, like I think a lot of people do, and I'm trying to be a competitive athlete. I'm trying to train, 60 to 80 miles a week, try to keep up with strength workouts, and I just don't see a lot of other people like that kind of sharing what their day looks like, their training, their diet. And like I said, I don't think you should necessarily eat like me. You should eat, in a way that makes you feel good, and you should eat, what you need to keep yourself healthy. So I just wanted to put that little midday rant in there as I was thinking about it, just because I got so much negativity on my first video. And like I said, it wasn't a particularly healthy day, but it was real life. That's what I ate that day. That's what I was planning to eat. I didn't go out of my way to prep healthy meals ahead of time, if I wasn't going to do that already. I didn't, eat a particular way or omit things that I knew would look bad. That's what I ate that day. And I think I was running about 70 miles a week when I filmed that. So roughly 10 miles a day. I think that day might have been like a 9-mile run or something. So yeah, I was at a phase of training where I was eating a lot. My training isn't as intense right now. It's closer to like 50, maybe 60 miles a week, since I'm, a little over a month out from a marathon, so I've been kind of building my mileage back up. So my mileage in general has been lower the last month, so my appetite's been a little bit lower. I haven't had as many sugar cravings, I'm not burning as much energy. I did hit about 60 miles last week though, and I'll probably be, 50 to 60 miles again this week. So still, a not insignificant amount of running and calories burned. So I would say I'm still, I still have a decently heavy training load right now, and my mileage will probably keep building up, as I get back to 60, 70 miles a week kind of on average. So I haven't had a ton to eat so far today. I'd probably say I had a little under 1,500 calories, which, is probably a lot for, an average woman to have before dinner, especially. But for me, I'd say that's pretty average, around, 1,500 calories or so before my evening run, and then maybe another 1,000 calories or so in the evening for dinner and maybe a snack and things like that. So I think my first what I eat a day was around 3,000 calories, and my training volume was a little bit higher. I think I'm closer to 2,500 to 2,800 calories a day now, and my volume is a little bit lower, my training volume. So I think that's, about right for me. My weight's been stable for the last few years. I'm going to go to this last appointment, and then I'll check in with you guys after my run for dinner time. And I know dinner's going to be some of those leftovers that you already saw us cook last night at the beginning of this video. So I'm probably going to have the vegetable and cream cheese dish, maybe with a couple quesadillas. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hello, I am back from my run. It's a little bit after 7 o'clock. I'm about to head inside and grab some dinner. I did have a little bit of watered down Powerade after my run. So this is watered down by about half. So I do have some Noon left, some of the low calorie, low sugar electrolytes. But my stomach's kind of upset, and honestly, like watered down Gatorade and watered down Powerade settle my stomach a little bit more after a run, and like the little bit of sugar and carbs feels like nice and refreshing, a lot better than plain water. So yes, I do occasionally have watered down sports drinks. I probably only had like 4 ounces or so of this. This bottle will last me a week, this watered down bottle. If you're curious, I ran 7 miles today at around 8-minute pace. So Mondays are always an easy day and usually a little bit of a shorter day. So today I wanted to do 6 to 7 miles, at an easy pace. I could have probably even gone a little bit slower, but honestly, there was this dude running like right behind me for like a mile, and I hate that. So I was running a little bit faster than I should have. I almost just stopped and let him run past me. But yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that, where like somebody's running like right with you and like you start to get a little like weirded out or like annoyed, and you're like, dude, give me my space, and you run a little bit faster than you should to like try and get away from them. So yeah, I did that, ran a little faster than I probably should have, especially since my ankle's been giving me a little bit of trouble lately, some old scar tissue that gets kind of irritated after particularly hard efforts. So I've been working on it every day. I take my stick roller with me to work, and sometimes at my desk I'll work on my shin and my calf. And I also take these resistance bands to work, and sometimes I'll do some knee and hip exercises at my desk. So let me know if you guys are interested in a video about that. I was thinking about doing a video about some of the stuff I'll do like at my desk while I'm sitting at work. For those of you that also have kind of a desk job, if you're sitting all day, 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you try to go for a run, sometimes it doesn't feel very good or it doesn't work out very well. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. And all right, I'm getting hungry. It's time for dinner. Let's go inside. Okay, I'm all clean and showered. It's now a little after 7:30. I'm heating up some food for dinner. So let me show you what I have going. I'm gonna have a couple of these handmade flour tortillas. I have them heating up here over some low-medium heat. So I'm going to have both of these. Each one's going to have a slice of cheese. So I just have some Colby Jack cheese. So I'm just going to make these 2 quesadillas. So I'm having some of the veggie dish that we made last night. And you saw at the beginning of this video. So it's this vegetable dish that just has a lot of leafy greens, corn, onion, broccoli, some beet leaves and some beet stem, some spices, cream cheese. It's not super high protein. I didn't have as much protein today as I should have, but hey, at least I'm eating vegetables. Okay, here is the finished product. I have my 2 handmade flour tortillas with some Colby Jack inside, and maybe a cup and a half or so of that veggie dish. And then maybe about an hour after dinner, Luis and I were watching a show, and we split this really big kind of like peanut butter sugar cookie. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And that was it for the day. So, I would say this was a pretty average day for me. Most of my meals were home cooked. I had a couple like sweet things during the day. I like to have a couple little treats. And this was a pretty average training volume day for me too. So that was a pretty high calorie dinner with the cheese and tortillas and the cream cheese and veggies, and now dessert with the cookie. So I would probably say I ate between 2,500 and 3,000 calories again today. It might have been a tad higher than average given my training volume right now, but I still think it's pretty representative. So hopefully you found that interesting. Like I said, I don't think I'm necessarily a diet role model. I don't think you should necessarily eat like me. But maybe this was interesting for you to watch as somebody who, works full time and is also trying to train and, be as healthy as possible, be as fit as possible. So hopefully you found that interesting. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any other questions or comments down below. And if there's any other kind of video you want to see, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, I'll see you guys next time.